Welcome to this webcast that is funded by the U.S. Department of Education, Rehabilitation Services Administration. The ideas, opinions, and conclusions expressed do not represent recommendations, endorsements, or policies of the U.S. Department of Education. My name is Sierra Ladroma with Griffin Hammis Associates, and I am joined today by Jason, also known as Jay Kraus, Gina Kraus, Billy Kraus, without any sort of connection
No E.
there, with no E.
Kraus with
And
no
then,
E.
yes, and then we've got Kara Lavelle. And we are going to talk today about customized employment, self-employment. And Jay is going to kind of lead us through this conversation about his experience. And then we've got his great team here. And I have this opportunity to not only facilitate this conversation, but also be part of this wonderful team. So we've got a lot of really great perspectives here. And so we're going to dive right into conversation, and we will also be sharing a quick slideshow with some images of the discovery activities that we've done through customized employment to really put us in a position to consider self-employment as a true and viable option for Jay. So, Jason, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little about you?
Hello, my name is Jason Kraus. I am 24 years old. I am the founder of Kraus Works, a community and adaptive advocacy solutions company. As a non-speaking or nonverbal person, I communicate in different ways. I use an AAC device like this one, gestures and vocalizations to communicate. I control my AAC device with the joystick on my power chair. So, why am I telling you this? This just means I have to get creative with my communication. When my devices are not available to use, like when they are not charged, I embrace interpretive dance as my language. You could say, I have mastered the art of charades.
Thank you, Jay. Gina, can you say a quick hello and introduce yourself and the relationship that you have with Jay?
Certainly. My name is Gina Kraus. I am Jason Kraus's bonus mom, also co-guardian. And we are in Virginia and happy to be here.
Perfect, thank you. And Billy, can you introduce yourself and how you support Jay?
For sure. So I'm Billy Kraus. I'm still waiting on Amazon to get me the E for my name so I can join the family, but there's no relation there, no direct relation. But I'm a lead vocational counselor with the Choice Group. And I've been working with Jay for 3 years now, originally through support employment, but about 1.5 years after we started that, we started this customized employment route.
Thank you. And Kara, can you introduce yourself and share how you support Jay and team?
Absolutely. Hi, everybody. My name is Kara Lavelle. I'm a vocational counselor with DARS, Department for Aging and Rehab Services. And I've been helping Jay with coordinating and also help sponsor the customized employment piece.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So we all know how much employment gives us purpose. It gives us a reason to wake up. It gives us goals. And ultimately, it also helps us financially, right? But Jay, can you share why you want to work?
I want to work to become the best version of myself and to have purpose every day in my community.
And then what did you learn about discovery and the types of work that you might be interested in doing?
I learned about other types of work and tried new things. My disability is seen as complex, but I learned that I have a place and I am so much more than how people see me. I did not know what to expect in the discovery process. What I learned was more about myself and the options I could have, some that I did not know were options for me before.
Is that it? You need more? Do you have more to say? Is that it? Okay.
And so I know that we have learned a lot about understanding what work can look like. Can you share with us how you feel about knowing that you can really do anything that you set your mind to?
I did not know what to expect in the discovery process. What I learned was more about myself and the options I could have, some that I did not know were options for me before. I learned that everything I thought about work or jobs available to me was wrong. I mean, seriously, I could do anything. I never knew that I had options or I could be my own boss. Most people did not give me a chance. I wanted to work and I could work.
Thank you. I agree completely. So Gina, as a parent who has been with us since day one, experiencing customized employment and the discovery process, as well as navigating the beginning of self-employment for Jay, can you share the experience that you've had?
Sure. So our situation is probably a little bit different because I am not a biological parent. I am a bonus parent. And so I've been with Jason since he was about 7, just turning 8 years old. And what we learned was that Jason actually has a lot of capabilities that most people don't quite understand because of his disability. There's assumptions made about people with TBIs. So we learned that, hey, there was even options for Jason to work. And Jason had always been quite the helper. And so he came through in quite a few activities of things, we just had no idea he had interests in or that he was able to pursue. And this really gave us that opportunity to go through that process with him and learn. And also, I think, see what a greater good the community itself offers that sometimes we don't always see as individuals, and especially coming out of a pandemic.
Why do you think self-employment is a great fit for Jay?
Well, to be honest, I think that it gives Jason the most flexibility to be the best version of himself. A lot of people don't understand that Jason has a wicked sense of humor. He's quite funny. He owns the room when he rolls in. But yeah, I think, hey, what do you think? I don't know. I think we're just a better team, right? And you being able to do it yourself means you're not put in a box, because that's not how we live. Everything we do is to support Jason and Jason being as independent as possible. And I think that this process has shown us all the different ways we can continue to do that into adulthood and hopefully a lifetime of learning and working and helping his community. Would you agree? You think so? Okay.
I remember we've had a couple of moments as a team where it's kind of this energy of, we can do this. Jay can have his own business. Jay is able to get these speaking gigs, these consulting gigs. And Jay, you already have some, right? You already have this experience. And it was through customized employment discovery that we said, how can we expand this? Right? So Billy, as the employment counselor supporting Jay and team, what would you say is something that you've learned about customized employment, discovery, and then now self-employment?
Yeah. So the thing I like the most about customized employment is that it really just lends itself to that out of the box thinking like Gina was talking about. Um, just the focus that it has and the time it provides to be able to discover his personal greatness and kind of use that in the search process for like what is the best fit for employment for Jay. Just really, really makes the process fun and effective, I think. So being able to use that time to really get to discover Jay, and then move that into the realization that self-employment is not just an option, but it might be one of the best options for him at this point in time. I'm still getting in the know, I'm still trying to discover what that looks like, and I'm coming in the ground floor with Jay and Gina and all of us. But it's just been really effective, I think, in my mind, just being able to use the discovery phase to its full potential to get us there.
I think we're learning together.
Yeah,
It's a true
definitely.
team environment.
Definitely. And that's what I like about the discovery process too, is that it's not just me learning about Jay, but it's helping Jay learn about himself too and help him discover his personal greatness. So we're both on the same foot there, just trying to figure out what works best for him.
And I think this team is so unique in its way that we all work together so well.
Yeah.
That we continue to raise the bar and the standard, which then ultimately results in higher expectations, And we have seen, like Billy, you have shared that you have worked with Jay and team for 3 years now. So you have provided traditional support and employment, but then now this extremely person-centered customized employment where self-employment itself was not an opportunity or an even idea when
Right.
it started. But now it's coming to this fruition of, hey, this is really something here. And we need to pursue it more.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Kara, you supported Jay and crew as a vocational rehabilitation counselor up until recently. We will miss you tremendously. But how would you describe your experience with customized employment as you've worked with Jay and team through the discovery process and just kind of that perspective of overall support and getting updates from the crew? How would you share that?
It definitely, this is the first customized employment case that I've worked on. So it's definitely, it's been a great experience in both learning professionally and working with such a dynamic team. I definitely agree with Billy and Sierra and Gina and Jay. This team has been phenomenal in learning from and going through this process. I was terrified at first because this is our first customized employment gig. But the collaboration and ideas that we bounce off each other has definitely helped lead us to where we are now. It's been a learning experience. It's been a growing experience in this profession. And I'm looking forward to what this opportunity can present going forward to others.
And I just want to share and take a moment to just really recognize how helpful you have been in this process to just have that open mindset of asking, okay, let's do this and how, rather than no. Instead of having that restrictive mindset, it's okay, let's get creative, let's explore this a little bit more. And customized employment may be new to many teams and vocational rehabilitation counselors, but what advice do you have for fellow voc rehab counselors who are beginning customized employment or maybe taking on their first case?
You definitely want to be open-minded, and not be so quick to say no. You know, you have to be open-minded and be open to thinking outside the box. So I would definitely recommend having patience, be, an active listener, um, before you respond and make a decision, because there's no cut and dry um, way through customized employment. And then I think that's the beauty of it. This experience has allowed Jade and Gina to go so many different avenues to get to where we are now with Kraus Works. So I would encourage, my fellow colleagues as vocational counselors, just be open-minded, be flexible, be patient, and the possibilities can be endless. And it doesn't hurt when you have such a dynamic team in place to help you get there.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
And
So-
one thing, Sierra, I wanted to add real quick to that too is, from the family perspective, our DARS rep, Kara specifically, and Billy both as a team, for the first time as a family, we felt like we were actually being heard. And I think that's a really important point, is that, prior to that, you're kind of one of probably thousands of cases that they're dealing with. But this gave us the opportunity, and not only were we heard, but we were invested in, and Jason was specifically invested in. And even though some people may look at his disability as complex, Kara saw and Billy saw what we see every day. And that was a very overwhelming experience as a family, to think that outsiders looking in at us could see the potential that we see every day. So that was really something that we're very grateful for.
Yeah, and if I could add, I think that was probably the most crucial piece to get this off the ground in the beginning.
Yeah.
Was just that strong partnership that Kara and Dars had with me and us at the Choice Group, and giving us the freedom to really step outside that box and explore. And that's kind of how the customized employment thing became possible, because Kara was able to see beyond that and kind of open things up to this exploration.
I love this team.
Yeah.
Love this. Jason, can you share about the barriers you experience and how you overcome them?
You gonna do that, bud?
Barriers are just challenges we have to figure out. There is always a way to do something, it might just look different for me. Sometimes these are called accommodations.
Excellent. And we know that customized employment and discovery looks different than traditional employment services. Jay, can you share what discovery was like for you?
He said, yeah.
I learned by trying new things, and the process was focused on me and my life, my timeline. I learned that I had options.
Good job, bud.
And what about some activities?
You got it? Okay, go ahead. Take your time. Nobody's rushing you.
I volunteered at a community center, a cool coffee shop, 5 to 11 tactical, spoke with Sportable Enrichment, and even someone from Monumental Sports.
Excellent. And can you share a little bit about your thought process around discovery and customized employment?
That means yes.
The process was cool. My whole community seemed to want to help. I had my family, neighbors, friends, peer mentors, community TR, anyone I asked wanted to help. We would get together at my house or around a fire pit. I reach out when I need help and people are there, even from sportable or monumental sports. Author and disability advocate Emily Ladau is supportive. It is really neat.
And can you share a little bit more about the timeline, Jay, as well?
Yes.
The timeline worked for me because I need specific things like accommodations. I require more than what others do. I need help in ways that are like interpretive dance. Lots of variables to work out. But it's all doable with customized employment.
Perfect. So I'm going to share my screen and share a couple of images of our time together through customized employment discovery. And I'm going to lean on the team to kind of walk us through what these images are, what's happening in them, what we learn from them. But I'll kick this one off. This is the wonderful Jason Krause. He is 24 years old and lives in Chesapeake, Virginia. He went to Hickory High School, so go Hawks. Jay plays baseball. He loves to fish and do anything outside. He loves to eat. He also really enjoys music. He's got a great collection of tools, and he also loves vintage cars. Jay uses a talker or an AAC speech device, similar to the one that you are hearing now in this presentation. He has a twin brother named Wesley. Jay has a traumatic brain injury and cerebral palsy. And Jay uses his power chair to control his AAC device and to navigate the community. Can we share what and where this picture was?
Jay says yes. This is Gina. Yeah, this is actually one of the first parts of, I think, Discovery. Is that correct, Billy?
Yeah. This one was before we got into
Okay.
that. This was at the very beginning. You're right.
Yeah, so I think this was at an Arbor Day celebration here in Chesapeake. And Jason was handing out flyers because they were introducing the mayor who was making a proclamation. And Jason was helping out by volunteering to support his city and to support the mayor.
Wonderful. So Jay previously mentioned how his community truly gathered and showed up for him. And these are pictures of exactly that. We had a little house party. We invited every single person on the block, and we enjoyed a nice fire and some delicious pizza. Billy, can you share with us what kind of conversations were had and what that experience was like to just be part of?
Yeah. Just seeing how much of Jay's community knows him and cares for him and understands him and has the patience to communicate with him the way that he needs was amazing for me. It was very eye-opening. And it was just so cool to hear everybody share their personal stories that they had with Jay and his family, the ways that they've interacted with him, the ways that he interacts with them. Everybody had some sort of input to give as far as like what it looks like to support Jay and what types of things really work for him. And then as everybody was sharing, it was cool to see how the conversation just kind of shifted towards what the next steps could look like. Everybody kind of got on the same page at a certain point there, and was able to really give some good feedback into places in the community we could go to for the next activities, for the next discovery pieces, for potential employment options to look into. It was really just a great example of the community that he has around him.
Thank you. Customized employment stands on such a strong foundation around social capital and community. And these are perfect examples of how our own neighborhoods, our friends, our communities truly rally around our success. And in these conversations, Jay, it was all about you. It was all about how can we support you? Where are you at your best? Some fun memories, some funny stories. Gina and Jay, do you have anything to share about these experiences?
Did you have anything you want to add, Bill? I'll just add, it was very nice, to also know that not only do we know we live in a very special community, it's not just supporting Jay, it's supporting the whole community of people with disabilities. Every one of the folks here that visited us, these were actually just the neighbor portions on one photo. And then the other photo were other people from the community, and whatever people wanted, thought they could do to help, they just wanted to come out and be there for him. And that's pretty extraordinary today. So we were very grateful for the opportunity to do that. And I think Jason would agree. Yeah, he agrees.
Perfect. So another part of customized employment is creating that relationship and truly understanding where the person is at their best. And most times that's at home. So with customized employment discovery, we focus on home visits, right? We get to create a relationship with not only Jay, but the people who are important to him. And so these are just some pictures of us kind of exploring and hanging out. And Gina, you had mentioned before how this is a service that has truly made Jay and the family feel like you were truly heard. And it's examples like these home visits and kind of just spending time together that really put that into place. Okay. So Jay, Gina, Billy, please share what these photos are.
I can do this one. That's Jay at his favorite restaurant, Hot Rodders Cafe. And I love this, Jay, because it gave me an opportunity to see you not just in your home, but just out in places that you love. And I got to see your generosity on display there. You were very eager to introduce me to all of the people that know you in the restaurant. As soon as we walked in, that they laid out the red carpet, I think. So that was very cool. It looks like your buddy there in the first picture that was working in the kitchen and actually surprised you by coming out. And then on the far right, it's a picture of us at your the dance that you had through your TR program, which I got to be a part of as well, and that was a really cool experience.
Excellent. So with customized employment discovery and what ultimately led us to self-employment are a series of these activities where we get to see where Jay, you enjoy spending time, where you are at your best, where do you go hang out? Right? And that's the cool part about this because it's so different than traditional employment of finding the now hiring signs or filling out applications. We're getting to truly get to know who you are and then base all of our work and activity around that, which is pretty neat. So let's talk about these. Who wants to share?
I'll pop on and share real quick. One of the things about Jason is he's pretty darn social. And this was Jason rolling into this new coffee shop that had opened up, and he is all about the coffee, but he's also all about just different places of just being himself. Like he loves tactical gear from 511. So he loves to pick out patches to kind of dress up his chair at Pale Horse Coffee, which is a local coffee house. Like he interacted with the barista that was there, and like she was totally awesome coming down and like talking with him and interacting with him at his level. Like it was really neat to see that unprompted, without any, any interference, like Jay just interacting, and like she came down to Jay's level. She didn't talk at him or try to get in front of his speech device. Like she instinctively knew how to interact with him, which was very much welcomed. And then in the last picture here, it's Jason actually helping to sweep with some assistive devices for his hand so he can hold and grip, which he learned how to use while volunteering at a local rec center, which is great too. So these are really indicative of Jay and places he's familiar with and also unfamiliar with, and to see how he can adapt, which is pretty neat on the fly. Would you say?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
So Jay, something I learned pretty quickly about you is that whatever space you enter, you will always leave with at least one friend.
Very true.
And you will always be remembered. And that is such a strong personality, and just what a great characteristic to have, right? You just change the energy of every single space and room that you enter. So in customized employment, we also get the opportunity to share space and conversations with people who we may never have had that opportunity before. So we were able to chat with a couple of members from the Sportable team, as well as the Chief Director of Ticket Operations of Monumental Sports. And so these are just a couple of pictures showing what those conversations via Zoom were like. Jay, Gina, and Billy, do you want to share a little bit about the experience of these conversations?
Yeah, again, it was really cool seeing Jay interacting with other people. And you know, the speaking device that Jay uses just naturally relies on technology. So there was really no barrier to talking over Zoom versus talking in real life. It was just a casual conversation we were able to have with these people. And at the end, just seeing how willing they were to offer their support, help connect us with their network of people, and just want to have continued conversations with us. After that one was done, I think it just was a really cool opportunity to explore and learn about other fields of Jay's interest and what opportunities are out there.
Yeah, it was really neat as a parent to see Jason interacting in such a grown-up role, I guess is how I would say it. And not condescending towards Jay at all, because I see him be mature every day, but in interviewing and listening intently, seeking information, and that people who did not know Jay or had not interacted with the disability community had ever worked with somebody with a disability, here they are saying, hey, what can we do to help? Which, you know, is extraordinary, because, you know, quite often, I mean, when we try to demystify disabilities, because often every day it's a fight for people to understand how to be respectful and to meet people where they are.
Mhm.
And here it was just so natural on both sides, and people just felt comfortable in interacting and were patient and genuinely wanted to be a part of the process and the success for Jason.
Yeah.
You agree?
So I want to emphasize how much of a learning process this is for every single person involved. And Jay, I remember there were moments throughout discovery where you were learning new words, new verbiage to use in these settings. And even with creating a business plan, we are learning so much, where it's kind of that new flex of muscles, right? Where you are putting yourself in situations and in different rooms where your opportunities are just growing. And so it's just really cool to have been part of this process, to really see us from day one to having you chat with the director of ticket operations. and just watching you prepare questions and learning more about businesses. That's so neat.
What do you
All
think?
right, tell us about this.
I'll take this one. So we are here in Chesapeake, the city of Chesapeake puts on a Mr. and Miss Abilities pageant. Now, Jason is not typically a pageant guy, but for some reason this year he decided he was going to give it a shot as something new. And Jason and a bunch of his peer mentors and friends and support team and city council all came, and Jason did a talent. He did casual wear, he did formal wear. And Jason got first runner up for his first time in, it's actually all of Hampton Roads encompassing, is this pageant. And it was really great. It was probably the first time I think you've been outside of high school on a stage performing.
Yeah.
And you had people in hysterics, which was awesome. And I was very proud of you.
I think it will be the first of many times, Jay, where you will be on stage. Really entertaining audience.
And just as a special note too, we could not have done a lot of that work without Jason's helper, Shanti. She went on stage, she helped him prepare, ironed his shirt for him, made sure he wasn't disheveled. So all those things are a part of a team of supports that are there for him, regardless to help him be successful. So it was pretty extraordinary night for everybody.
Absolutely. Shout out to Shanti.
Absolutely. And if I could add in as well, one of the great parts of these unfamiliar activities that are in the discovery process is I get to see Jay in these new environments, things that he hasn't done before. And this was one of the catalysts, I think, that kind of pushed us into the self-employment route after we're seeing how much he really enjoyed being on stage and talking to people. And part of his talent was showcasing his ability to advocate in a humorous way. And that really got us thinking and got me able to see him in that role that we wouldn't have before. So we kind of got us thinking about, what would it look like to continue doing something like that for paid employment?
Yeah, I think that Jason's got the personality that he can really break down barriers, whether they're perceived or not perceived. He really does when he interacts with people.
Yeah, for sure.
And Billy, you bring up such a great point. The activities that are planned in Discovery are so intentional to really identify what are this person's vocational themes.
Mhm.
What are they great at? So we can pursue it more and pursue different conversations and different opportunities and new spaces. It's just, it's so driven by the employment seeker or Jay of what we do next. So Jay, I know that you have some gigs coming up as well as you just finished some gigs, but these are just a couple of projects that you have worked on as you continue to grow Krause Works. So you just recently presented at where was that at, Gina?
It was in Roanoke, Virginia. It was the transition conference.
Yes, so you presented on virtual community mapping.
Mhm.
And then we've got this current event. And later this month, you will be presenting to the Northwest Access Funds group to talk about customized employment, as well as your ongoing consulting with the Inclusion Project. And then I've included a link to this video here. So if you are interested in watching Jay in action, this would be a great opportunity to do so.
Highly
Jay,
recommend
do
it.
you want to share anything else with projects? in Krauseworks?
Are you just busy?
Yeah.
You're getting booked. All right. Jay and Gina, do you want to take this one?
Go ahead, bud. Go ahead.
If you want to keep in touch or learn more about me and my growing business, Krauseworks, scan the QR code.
Perfect. All right, so I'm going to stop share screen and let's continue on with a couple of more questions. So Gina, was there a certain point where you realized that self-employment was a viable option or is a viable option for Jay?
I think as we were going through discovery, what we kept finding were, okay, here are some things that we just need to add to our list of redirects. Meaning we found barriers, but they weren't really barriers. We just approached things very differently. And we realized that with some of the needs Jason has because of his cerebral palsy, that he needs help with a drink or if he needs help eating, that we would have to figure out how to work that into a typical employment process. But also Jay exhibits these amazing habits to pick up things by watching.
Yeah.
And the more and more it came up and the more and more we started seeing these other activities through discovery, started to realize just more and more like, hey, maybe this is something he can do on his own schedule. Have more control over a situation rather than being bound to being bound in the box. We just blew the box up and decided that this really is something that Jay could do more effectively in a very entrepreneurial way. Because I think that aside from watching Shark Tank every night, something stuck. And I think that what that does is it allows him to really blossom into that next level. And I think that once we started to see him pursuing those things and being so interested in doing things his own way, that, you know, we wanted to be able to support that. And we've just started to find that, you know, that's probably a better option for him, is rather than, you know, climb over more barriers, let's just blow the box up and let's just cruise to the top. Right? Yeah.
So Jay, what advice do you have for others who are interested in employment, whether that is wage employment or self-employment?
What do you think?
If you are working with a team, you are already winning. Employment looks different on everyone. I am so excited I get to do something that a few years ago I was denied. I work hard. Just keep moving forward and meet people where they are.
Good job.
And then do you want to share more about the process?
Yeah, Shine, this is good. Got a rep.
Discovery is the best part of the employment process besides working. I did not know so much was even possible for me. It worked for me, truly person-centered. All about what worked for me. Everyone should do discovery.
And just a side question, with the different activities to really get us to self-employment, how did you navigate the community? So how did you get to those places?
How do I get to these places? My mom, Gina, drives me and John T in my Ford Transit called the Boogie Wagon.
So Jay, customized employment discovery has allowed you and your team to bring so many of your skills to surface, including public speaking. You have been a public speaker and advocate for a couple of years now, and your business concept is truly designed to expand this skill. And we might even add some comedy in there too. So I want to personally just share, Jay, how proud I am of you and your accomplishments and the goals that you're going to reach. You're welcome. Gina and Jay, can you share with us any upcoming consulting projects that you've worked on or anything that you're excited for?
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them. Jay loves to be purposeful in his day every day. So this has really helped him to meet and exceed that challenge. And who knows what barriers will break down.
Yeah. Billy and Kara, do you have anything else to add or share about your supports to Jay? Just even observing and watching Jay become who he is today, just from the day one of meeting him, and knowing his goals as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I mean, I want to ditto what you said. Just the growth that I've seen is impressive. And I'm really proud to be able to have worked with you for this long and be able to be a part and see that progress and that growth. I think that's been really cool. I think that probably the biggest tool, Jay, that you have at your disposal is just your openness to trying new things. And then second to that is the community that you've built around you to help you do those things. I think you've built a really good community, and that's a testament to the just your natural ability to connect with people. So I think that is really the big factors that have got us here today.
And I echo everything that Billy and Sierra said as well. I've seen Jay grow so much just from a counselor perspective. I didn't get to spend a lot of time with outings, and I wish I could have, to see see Jay in his element in his comfortable setting. But he's a change maker. Jay, you're a change maker in this world, and it's inspiring for counselors to see the growth and the open-minded and how you make such a big impact in our community and our world. You keep being who you are because you're really redefining what what we want to see out of our consumers. Sometimes we box everything in, but you've, as Gina said, shattered the box, and you've given us hope and kind of changed the game for helping our other consumers aspire. So thank you, Jay. Your attitude, your smile lights up the room, and I was so thankful and grateful to meet you all at the Pre-Eds conference. So I wish you nothing but greatness. You're gonna do great.
He says thank you to both of you.
Thank you for your time. I am a little nervous but want you to know I appreciate you taking the time to learn from me.
I am going to go ahead and share that final QR code just one more time. If you want to stay in touch with Jay or even collaborate on a project or bring Jay on to share his expertise as a speaker, please scan this and wait for that awesome email to get connected. All right, Jay and crew, thank you so much for spending time and energy and space to just share your experience around customized employment, self-employment. Jay, I wish you the absolute best, and I can't wait to continue watching you grow Krause Works.